Cheers. That is hot as balls.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Um, low energy today.
Hey,
Hey, hey,
what's
girl.
up?
How's it going?
It's going, it's going. I accidentally stole my coworker's vape, and so I've been chiefing on that.
Oh, ha ha ha. Real friend
Yeah.
you are. Real
Dude, I literally
friend.
I went to the bathroom and I like hadn't gone to the bathroom all day, and then I also hadn't sat down all day. So I like sat down, did my business, and then I was just like scrolling on my phone and I didn't want to stand up. And it was like right to shift change. So I was in there for a minute. I was in there for a hot minute. And then I like came out and I was like, "Where'd she go?" And everyone was like, "Oh, she left." I was like, "I have her vape." She's like, the rest of the coworkers were like, "She thought you left." I was like, I would never intentionally steal a vape, but
If someone had my vape and they were in the bathroom, oh, how it's beautiful.
I know, matches.
I would wait out that bathroom. I'd be knocking
I
on that
know.
stall and be
Well,
like,
she thought
oh,
that I left.
hand
Yeah.
underneath the stall. Hey.
Give me my shit back. No,
hmm
she thought I left, and I was like, well, and then I was gonna work with her on Sunday, but then like the storms in Milwaukee. Have you heard all that shit?
Well, I heard about the flash flooding, but
Yeah.
I didn't know how severe it was until I saw the floods and everything.
Yeah. I personally haven't seen any flooding. I live in like River West East Side, kind of like Locust Center stuff. Let me just triangulate my location and dox myself. But I live in River West and we didn't have any flooding that I know of. I think some people a couple blocks up from me did, but it wasn't like terrible. I also think that the like place that my apartment is, it's kind of on like a little bit of an incline. Because like if I walk either direction, it does slope down. So I think that we were like just, elevated enough that we didn't get flooded or anything, but like Tosa got flooded. I drove over the river today and like it's high. Like it's really high.
You guys
You could
got 10
see it
inches of
like
rain. 10
I think
inches.
14. My dad said 14.
Oh, geez. I heard 10.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I don't know. I didn't look. I would assume it's like around those numbers because it started raining, I think around like 7 or 8 o'clock. And I was like, oh, I didn't know it was supposed to rain today. I watered all the plants outside. Didn't need to. It was hot as
No.
balls too. So I was like sweating doing that. And I'm like, cool. I didn't have to do that. But
Yeah.
then it didn't stop raining until like I like noon the next day. And that
Yeah.
was Saturday into Sunday.
Well, on Saturday, Brienne and I were watching the Batman Lego movie. Also the best Batman, without a doubt. Go Will Arnett. Didn't see that coming, so good for you.
That's
But
so funny. I've never seen it.
it's so fucking hilarious, dude.
I haven't seen
It
any Lego movies.
the original Lego movie, I watched that when it came out, and I've watched it here and there. It's funny.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Toy Story in the sense that like it 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 entertains adults and children. So, but yeah, it was great. But we were watching, and all of a sudden the tornado siren started going off here, and I was like, "Do we should we go downstairs?" And I was like, "Nah, we're fine." And then I was like, maybe we should go downstairs." And then we went, and then it stopped. Like we really didn't get
Damn.
much. Like so, yeah, we got
Yeah.
like some storm, some rain, but it was nothing. Like I had no idea that it was balls to the wall in Milwaukee, but
Yeah.
I'm
My
glad
dad
that
said
like
that,
you're fine.
yeah, same. My dad said that a lot of the bad stuff went north of him. I'm sure that's kind of like a little bit of what you got. And then like everything else went south of like Appleton area. So,
Yep. I don't know.
yeah.
I was talking to my boss today, and she said that a lot of people got hit like bad. Like
Mhm.
Door County apparently was nailed really
Yeah.
bad.
I
Um,
think it was like South and North Wisconsin that just
so
got fucked.
yeah, but not our fucking problem.
I saw people on Facebook. There was one person that I'm friends with that like her entire basement was flooded and didn't have any power.
Oh
And
man.
like she had to stay at a hotel. And then someone else had their whole basement flooded. Kylie's basement. She said that it flooded and she's in Whitefish Bay. Um, there was Cor not I oh my God, off topic already. Welcome. Welcome to Off Topic. We didn't even this is the first episode where we actually are off topic on purpose. So
That
that's a
is
joy.
correct.
Yeah, to pause my rambling, but my name's Carl. This is
I'm
Sophia.
Sophia. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's you.
hey, that's
I
me.
guessed it right. I guessed
Hey.
it.
Crushed
Yes.
it.
Yes. 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 But I what was I
Is it gone?
saying?
It's already gone. That's all right.
Oh, one thing. I accidentally like said my place of work in a couple episodes back, so oopsies. Oopsies. Um, Everything I said is public knowledge, and I'm not spilling any company secrets, so Scout's honor. But also I was supposed to work Sunday morning and the power was out, and so like I got called off all morning, which also happened Wednesday, and I don't know why, and I assume that the power's back on. So a couple places like close to me were, affected. Some
Yeah.
people I saw had like their cars were like completely underwater. Like there was a building on fire, I think towards like Bayview because it was like struck by lightning and the roof started on fire.
Oh,
So that's crazy.
no.
Yeah.
That's a big old yikes right there.
Hmm.
Right there.
Right there. But yeah, I don't know why we were talking about that.
We're just, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest, like I don't know. I get my period in a week, and the week before my period, I'm always like low energy. My body's preparing
Yeah.
to bleed, whatever.
Luteal
Um,
phase,
so yeah, luteal phase, we love it. We love
Lucifer
it.
phase. Yeah. I
But
always get that too, where I'm like, why do I feel so bad and like low energy and I hate everything? And it's like, oh, 1 week away from
yeah,
certain death.
seriously. And so last week I talked about how I had off on Monday because we're overstaffed because of all the college students. Slowly but surely, they're starting to dwindle because we're getting to the end of August. And I had to work till 4:15. And bitch, I was so pissed. That's like I get out, that's before my shift ends, by the way, FYI. I get out at 4:30, 5 o'clock, and I was livid. I was like, why the fuck am I still here? These fucking people.
These
God
goddamn
damn.
idiots.
So I was like cranky because I had to do my job.
Oh my
I
God.
know, I
Ain't
know.
that the worst?
Yeah, and today was also so slow. There was something about today where it just kept dragging on and on and
Yeah.
on. And so I'm glad to be home and relax, do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice little it's a nice day.
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
Thank you.
That's where we're at.
I
But
hate that feeling though when you're like, oh, I'm getting out of work so early, and then you actually like go back to your regular schedule and you're like, gonna end it all.
no, seriously, it's ridiculous. And like nothing
Yeah.
even bad happened today. Like we had someone call in, which pissed me off because
Mm,
why are you calling in? Like, because I know this person, they're just calling in. So I
yeah.
was like, what the, oh God. And then, yeah, I'm realizing like I used to be a chronic caller inner when I was living in Milwaukee, but now that I have my shit together a little bit more, I don't do it anymore. So when other people do it, I'm like, oh, this is how everyone felt about me. Got it. I
Dude,
won't
okay,
do
I feel that so hard.
won't be doing this ever again. Like that phase of
Yeah.
my life will never come back. But
Yeah, I
um
used to also be a chronic caller inner because I used to hate going to work. Still do. But at least I can manage it now.
that's yeah, like honestly, like sometimes like just emotionally going into work was just too much. I could not bring myself to just be like, I can't talk to people at all. I can't move.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna fucking lay here. And most of the time I did. And I did. So, but no more. No more.
No more.
If I call in,
Growing
it's
up.
because if I'm fucking not well. So
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like when you don't call in all the time, the times that you do call in, people are like, oh shit, like she
no,
never
yeah.
calls in, so this is
Yeah.
serious. That's how I
Mhm.
feel with like both jobs. Honestly, it's like just with jobs at this point in my life that like I I don't have super difficult jobs. So like going to work, a lot of times I can just if I'm in a bad mood, I'm not feeling good, like I can just kind of push through. But like when I call out, I'm like out.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, but I'm trying to I've got some updates. Got some updates,
Uh,
friend. All
for
right.
what? For what? For what?
Ethel Cain's new album just came out.
Today?
No, last Thursday or last
Oh
Friday.
shit.
So that's what I've been dabbling in lately. Um,
Period.
you've listened to Preacher's Daughter, right?
Yes.
Okay, so for the people that don't know the lore, also sponsored, um, Preacher's Daughter is an album by Ethel Cain. She's a fictional character, persona, I guess. Um, the real artist name is Hayden Anadonia, and it's essentially about this girl who is breaking away from her super religious background. She was a preacher's daughter. I don't know if you could put two and two together
Son of
there,
a preacher's daughter. Son
but
of a preacher's man.
yeah, uh,
That one scared me. I'm not gonna lie. I started getting nervous. And I was like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble. I gotta go to the principal's office.
uh, but she's breaking away from religion. She runs away from home, like right after she graduates, or like she drops out of school. And she meets these different people, specifically men, in the relationships that she gets into. And spoiler alert, so if you really want to listen to this album, which I highly suggest you do, um,
It's very good.
she ends up meeting this guy, traveling out west with him. He ends up taking advantage of her, pimps her out, drugs her out, kills her in a basement, then eats her body. And that's the album. So that's Preacher's Daughter. Um, very ambient, very like ethereal. Hayden Anadonia is one of the best producers that I've listened to personally, just in terms of just like perfectly encapsulating um like a certain emotion like so well. There's a song on Preacher's Daughter called Ptolemea, and it's easily like the most disturbing thing I've ever consumed. Like even including like movies and visuals, like just hearing the horrors of that song. And that's the song where she's like hallucinating, she's drugged out, and she's being basically murdered. Um, and towards the end of the song, like you hear God, or it's
It's
so
a really,
amazing.
yeah. I
It's
listened to it when I
ooh
was like shelving some books and I like had to stop multiple times just to like listen. I will say I'm not a good like lyric person. So like I would not have guessed that that was the story ever because I just like I don't know if it's that I hear the lyrics. I know the words to songs. I don't process them. And so like I think you said that you told me that was the story when I before I listened to it and then I was listening to it and I was like, all right, I believe you.
yeah.
I don't I didn't catch that, but
Don't doubt that for a minute.
don't doubt it for a minute. Sounds spooky.
Yeah, and so the new album that just came out, it's called Willoughby, I Will Always Love You. It's about her first love, and it's a prequel to Preacher's Daughter. It is
Ooh,
not
cool.
it's very good. It's not as good as Preacher's Daughter. Nothing will I can't say this yet because like her career has literally just begun. Like Preacher's Daughter was her
Hmm.
debut album, which is
Yeah, was that
insane.
like 2022 or
2022,
something?
yes. And yeah, she's phenomenal, but I have a hard time believing that anything would ever top that. But the overall album, it has the Ethel Cain feel. Um, but it it touches so much more on anxious attachment style and like what that does to the person who has that attachment style, and then how it affects the person that they're like with. And there's
Yeah.
us. I think it's called Tempest, but um the whole song is from Willoughby's perspective, and it's just phenomenal. She coming from someone who is anxious avoidant and right now like processing a lot of like the anxious part of my attachment style, she is a genius. She perfectly embodies what it's like to just want to feel loved and feeling like you don't actually have not that you don't deserve it, and like deep down you
Yeah.
just don't believe it, so you just cling to that person. And like oof, it's fantastic. I think you should definitely listen to it. I know
Yeah, I'm gonna.
you're not a huge fan, but
I
it's worth it.
I listen to American Dream off Preacher's Daughter quite often. I like the vibe of that one. I just only listened to the album like once, so nothing really stuck out to me besides that one. And plus, like I was doing something else, so I was listening to it, and so. But
Well, also
I,
like it's not like you put on a like Preacher's Daughter for a fun little listen.
yeah,
You know, it's like you're
yeah,
and back to saying like about the lyrical aspect of it, like that is the draw for me a lot of the
hmm
time with because she's such a good writer. And I feel like that with a lot of songs. Like obviously like I really enjoy listening to sound when I'm listening to music that does,
big,
help.
big part of music is that it is sound.
Correct. So,
So
but when you add on top of that the poetry and the storytelling, like it makes it so
yeah,
much better. But yeah, I if you listen to it, let me know. My favorites are Fuck Me Eyes, Nettles.
ooh,
I know.
ooh,
Relate to Fuck Me. Well, wait, no, cut the
what?
cameras. Nope, cut the cameras. I'm not gonna expose myself like this. Oh, UPS guys
Relate
here.
to fuck me. Relate to fuck me. Great song. Great idea. I need to stop doing the Trump impression. It's getting way too much. I was doing it a lot last night, and I'm like, I gotta stop.
But anyways, Fuck Me Eyes, amazing. Nettles, fantastic. Waco, Texas. That's the last one. It's 15 minutes long.
I
That's another thing about Hayden Anadonia where
hmm
she doesn't follow the pop rules. She will make a song as long as it needs to be. Respect the hell
Yeah,
out of that.
that's
And
awesome.
then the other song is Dust Bowl. Those
Very
are the really good ones. So when you listen, think of me.
good. Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers. Um,
Um,
I've been having Chapel Roan the subway
dude,
on
same.
fucking repeat.
Same. Every day I go to work and that song's on, and every day I come home from work, that song's on.
Yep. Literally, I get in the car. It's the first thing I play.
Yep.
It's so good.
It's
It's so good,
so good. Another like yearning, anxious
dude.
song, dude.
I like have been a lover of pop music my whole life. Like I loved Lady Gaga growing up, Katy Perry growing up. Like I listened to it a lot. Katy Perry not anymore, but she was very formative. Like I was a big Katy
Katy
Perry fan.
Perry. Me too, dude. She like
Katy Perry.
okay, something about Harry Mary.
Oh,
I
Katy
see.
Perry. Katy Perry. It's like you whisper it 3 times in a mirror and she shows up.
She's dating the Canadian Prime Minister right now, or the former Prime
Justin
Minister.
Trudeau.
Yes, yes. Who that was not
I
on my bingo card.
I don't believe that.
Okay, you don't have to.
I'm
You
gonna
can
Google
fact
that
check
after.
that. Yeah.
I don't want to do it right now, but I don't believe you.
Yeah, you know what? That's fair. I wouldn't believe me either, but it's crazy. It's insane.
Well, I'm pretty sure I thought he was married.
Um, well, apparently not anymore.
There.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But I feel like I've like Chapel Roan was like made for me. Like just I feel like every song that she has, I like relate so deeply to it, and like so it's just lesbian yearning is such like a specific feeling, and like she just fucking bottles it up and then like puts it in a song.
Yeah.
I love her for that. It feels very seen because like there's so much in like queer media that's subtext and reading between the lines, and like it is so like that's the type of media I grew up like consuming. Like I love like a subtextual like yearning. Swan Queen is still real to me, and like I feel like with Chapel and even just like this new age of like queer media, it's so overt and I love it. Like Our Flag Means Death, it's like a TV show with pirates. They're fucking gay. And like it's not like hint hint wink wink, like they're in love. And it's like the two main characters are in love. There's many queer story or queer people. There's like, lesbians, bisexuals, trans masc, like it's just and even like Agatha all along, for it to be like a gay kiss in Marvel, especially being Catherine Hahn and Aubrey Plaza, I couldn't have asked for more. I mean, I could, but I'm not gonna because I'm happy with what we have. But I love Chapel because of that. Like, it's no subtext. It is all like so overt, and I just like,
It feels really honest, and I feel like with the
yeah,
queer community especially, like it has been so under wraps. It's like we know
mhm,
it exists, but we're gonna
yeah.
address it very subtly
We're not
but
gonna
now
say a
it's
single pronoun in this song.
yeah, but I really appreciate the honesty. Like
Yeah,
it's very vulnerable, and I
yeah,
don't know, it feels like I don't know, it's teaching like queer kids that there's nothing to be ashamed of, and they have something that they can finally relate to
yeah,
in an overt way, instead of it just kind of being like hush hush,
yeah,
hush
yeah.
hush. Girl, you don't gotta hide. Be a lesbo.
Literally.
Be that lesbo.
Really? I can? Oh,
Honey,
gee,
yes.
thanks, Dad. No, yeah. Um, I don't know. I've been pretty
Well,
chill.
yeah.
Um, I got a massage the other day. Beautiful.
Yes.
I got cupping, and like, I'm not turning around because I don't feel like it, but like, my back has all those little bruises up and down, and it was absolutely wonderful. I did a float, and I don't think I really even talked to you about it yet. I like texted you about it, but basically, it's like an hour in like a salt bath where it's enough salt to like you float,
Oh
and
my God.
dude, it was relaxing, but it was also just like so fun. I had a great time. Like so like I I went I knew someone who works there, and so like she, showed me how to like she gave me the process. You like go into this room, you like shower off, and then you get into the tank and you're there for like an hour, and then like, you shower again. And like it's basically like I don't even know. It was just like a room, and they had like a shower. It was all tiled. They had like all the equipment and stuff, and then just like this big circle tub, and it has like walls and stuff around it. So like there's like two little sliding doors, and then it like closes, and like you're in a pod. And the place I was at, they had like some stars on the ceiling and some like really cool low level blue like colored lights, and then they have just like a relaxation music going on. And you can turn off the lights, you can turn off the music. I turned off the lights, and then I couldn't figure out how to turn them back on. So I was like, we're just rocking with this, I guess. And I didn't turn off the music, so I was like, I don't want to. I feel like that freaked me out a little bit. And like, I'd say the first like 10 minutes was me just like getting my bearings because it is a weird sensation. Because you can feel like the gravity pushing down on you from the air, but then like the salt, like my neck at first was sore because it was just like automatically like I feel like my natural position. I didn't want to hold it because like I don't want to use my muscles, but like my neck was like up because the salt was like lifting my body. It was weird. It was a weird sensation.
Yeah.
And like the first part of it, I was just kind of like breathing and like just trying to clear my mind and just being like present and like counting my breaths and everything. And then I was doing that for a while, and I was like, I can do whatever I want. I don't have to sit here. So I was just kind of like moving around. It was really, really nice. Like, I was like, like not like swimming, but just like I would like push myself off gently off the like one wall. I would like move and like, I don't know. I feel like I'm exploring, or not exploring, just like having like moments where I'm like, I'm completely alone. I can do whatever I want with my body. And like, it's a weird, just like thing I have. Like, I always feel like someone's watching. And sometimes that like stresses me out, and I am like so tense because I'm like so concerned of how I'm perceived. And so when I do find these moments of like absolute like solitude, I'm like, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Like I went on a walk the other day and I found like a wooded path and I was like walking through it and I was like, there ain't no one around. And I was like fucking walking weird. I was like dancing. And so I took that time to really just move my body.
Dancing in
It was fucking,
public is like truly dancing in public, like
yeah,
when it's just you and your body and you can just
yeah,
there's it's so liberating. It's so
yeah.
much fun. It's always very silly though when someone is there and you
I know.
realize that later. You're like,
Oops.
you just
That
caught me
wasn't me.
vibing. You just
Yeah.
caught me
I
having
don't know
some
who that was.
fun.
I love when people are like when I'm like driving and I see people dancing like on the curbs or something. I love
Yes,
that. I'm like, you
yes.
go. But I like really am trying to relax more, and like that is definitely something that I've struggles relaxing being in public. And I think also just as growing up in a rural area, like there's so many days that I just like wouldn't see anyone else but my family, and there is like a freedom that comes with that, and that is different living in like a major city because like in the building I'm in right now, there's like six other people, so I'm never really truly alone.
Yeah.
But that was really nice. And then after the float, I got a massage, and the massage was great. I like have had so many knots and stuff in my like muscles, and so this bitch worked me out, and like it was crazy. And then she did the cupping, and it was a really interesting like sensation because it did hurt like pretty bad. The cupping basically is like those suction, like really big suction cups that like pull the like skin up, and it's supposed to increase blood flow to like affected areas. And the first couple ones she put on, I was like, owie, and like that kind of hurts. But I'm not gonna say anything because I also don't think she could speak English that well. And I was like, I'm okay. I'll suffer. And like after a while, I think she put like roughly 20 cups on my back. It was a lot. And like the one by my tailbone hurt the most. And then the ones like along my shoulder blade hurt also. And those are like, that's my, like the problem areas I have. Like I have knots in my shoulder blades and like all that stuff. And so it was on there. I don't even know how long it was on there. And then she like massaged my legs, and it was the first time, it was the second professional massage I ever had. It was the first time I was ever like completely nude. Because after I got out of the like float, I'm like, I'm not putting my underwear back on. Like I've got this robe. I'm just buck naked right now. And I know for a fact that like my ass crack was out most of that massage. And like
You can leave your underwear on. You can.
I didn't want to wear it in the pool. I'm not
No,
wearing my
that
undies in the pool.
it's
And
valid.
I was not fully dry yet after I like showered off. And I don't want to put undies on. So I
That's
also don't
fair.
think, I don't think this like 6-year-old Chinese lady gives a damn. She's
You
probably
know what
seen
she's
worse.
seen? You know what she's seen? Yeah, literally. I'm sure
Yeah, I know,
she's
literally.
seen it all.
Yeah, and so my little butt crack is not the worst thing she's seen, but for a hot second I was like, is this like my fault? Like, did I move? The draping
No,
fell?
she wanted a little peek. She wanted a little sneak peek. She just methodically like folds it down.
During like at one
Uh,
point, like she went to like bring my arm out and like retuck the blanket under my hip, but like the I don't even know what happened, but like the hip or like the blanket like fell out of her hand, so she kind of just like cupped my hip bone for a second, and she was like, "Oh, sorry," and then like I was like, you're good." And there was like another part where like my arms were like on the side, and I was like so relaxed that like one just like slid off and like swung forward, and she was like, "I'm sorry." It's like, you're fine. That was me, girl. You're doing a great job. I'm so relaxed. But yeah, it was really wonderful. I feel I had a headache a little bit after the massage, which isn't uncommon. And like, I would always get headaches after chiropractor appointments too. I also just kind of always have a headache, like at any point. But since I got the massage, I have not had a headache. So like
Well,
that's
it released so much tension,
yeah.
probably, and like
Especially in
I'm
like my neck and back. Like she really worked on my upper back and I was like, thank God, because like it was just I don't know. I shouldn't have the body I have for like a 24-year-old, like the problems with it. Like
the
and
body
so
keeps score.
I
The
know.
body keeps
And on
score.
the fucking losing team. But yeah, that was really it was really, really nice. And
Yeah.
yeah, I've been just trying to I got back into well not got back into, but I pulled my crochet hooks out again and I've been trying to do that instead of like scrolling on my phone. I went with Hannah to some art museums in Sheboygan and like I just like love Hannah. Also, at this point, we should have the graphics and everything updated. All of our profile pictures, everything that is from Hannah. We'll
Thank
put
you,
her
Hannah.
Instagram. We love you so much.
It looks so good. It looks
I'm
so
so
good.
happy with it.
Yeah, me too.
And yeah, she's so talented. Like I'm so grateful to call her one of my best friends. And like going to art museums with her, she is like an artist. And by the third one, I was done. I was like, I can't do this anymore.
That is
Like,
so overstimulating too. Just like the constant input of just like that's a
yeah.
lot.
And we were talking about that when like we got back home. I was like, I had a great time, but it was a lot of input. And like, because we went to like technically three different museums. And like, Hannah's the type of person to read every plaque and like analyze every exhibit very intricately. And I am so like appreciative of that skill in her. But I think by like the last one, I was like, I'm just stimming. I told her I was like, I'm having a good time. I'm fine. But if I'm just like walking around and like sitting down, like you don't have to worry about me. I just I need to do this so I don't actually go crazy. And yeah, I like
Well, personally, like one museum, like I'm good. Like the Milwaukee Public Museum, I went with Carson, Kyle, Brianna, and Kaylee like a few months ago, and we only did half of it. And then the next time they visited, we did the other half, like the
yeah.
other floors, just because it was so much.
There's so much in that museum too.
So like
Like
I mean even when I went to the well not the I went to the art museum in Chicago and we barely touched the surface. We got like my
yeah,
entire family and we were all like I can't look at anything else. I can't
yeah.
look. I need to close my eyes for a minute. Like
Well, even like the public art museum and the public museum, I worked at the public museum like for like a couple months, and so I've walked around it a million times, and I still see new shit. Like that's what's also kind of beautiful because a lot of museums don't change out their exhibits super often. Like Milwaukee Art Museum, they have like one rotating like a special exhibit, and but most of their stuff is like permanent or just like has been there forever, and so you can walk. I mean, I've probably gone to the art museum like 10 plus times since living in Milwaukee. I would even say more. And like I went I think last week or 2 weeks ago and like I was just I don't know, you see things at a different time, it impacts you differently and you like go down a different, corner and see something from a different angle. Like it's very cool. But I just am not a plaque reader. Like I will read it, but nothing retains in my brain. And like sometimes I like seeing the art first and then being like, what's this about? And then going to read the plaque. And so like yeah, Hannah literally like looked at every single thing and like had feelings on it and like I mean it was very inspired. I'm very glad that she is like that because I'm so much not like that like it made me think about things differently than if I had just like breezed past it. And so I've been trying to get back into like actual like physical art stuff. I might start doing mosaics. I don't know.
yeah, I mean it's goofy that you say that just because I'm starting to do like video projects again, personal video not just like
Yeah.
my movie edits. Like I'm actually going out
Oh,
and doing
fun.
stuff. So yeah, I mean, I've been blocked for so long and it's just time because
Yeah.
every time I think about how I'm like not creatively expressing myself, I get sad. And I'm like,
Yeah.
girl, you can do it. Like you literally like you
Yeah.
can do anything you want. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
So I'm just pulling up my notes for our topic today.
that's right. I'm
I
so
actually did a lot of research.
I
I
texted
did it all
Carl.
today.
Yeah, I texted Carl this morning and I was like, I'm so, 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 so excited for today's episode. So um I asked for a hint. It helped nothing. So I am
When
just
you
in
hear
the
the
dark.
topic, it'll make sense.
I know. But I'm
Because we
just
talked about it last episode.
I was trying to think and I was like, I can't think of a damn thing. So, but anyway, take it away, Carl.
Okay. I just take my laptop and walk away. Um, so this week we're gonna talk about ADHD. Yeah. Because we talked about it last week mainly because I ran out of my Adderall and I was going a little crazy, going a little off the walls.
Yeah.
And I find it interesting just as like a just I don't know like the it's not a it's a what is it disorder.
It's a
ADHD is fascinating to me.
I think it
I
is
think
a
it's a behavioral disorder.
yes, yes. Yeah.
So I kind of just like I had some questions that I like didn't that I just had about ADHD, and I have like 5-ish pages of notes, and a lot of it
Wow.
is just like copy and paste from different stuff, but some of it is like stats, some of it's just like definitions. So first question is, what is ADHD? And it's attention deficit slash hyperactivity disorder. The DSM-5 defines it as a persistent pattern of inattention and or hyperactivity dash impulsivity that interferes with function or development. Um,
We can
and
say amen to impulsivity, honey. We can say a
yeah,
fucking men. I just spent $30 on stickers. Why? Why'd I do that? Why did I
dude,
do that?
that was literally me at Target. I've gone to Target like 3 times this month, and I never go to Target. And every time, like, I buy someone's shit, and I'm like, I have to return half of it. Like, it's so frustrating.
It feels so good in the moment, and then when you get home, you're like, I hate myself. Why the
Or
fuck
even
did I
like
do that?
at the register when you're paying, you're
Yes,
like, oh,
yes.
I
You
mathed
see
so wrong.
you see the
It's just
total,
going
you're
up.
like, fuck.
Fuck. That was like 20 off what I was estimating. Because also I'm bad at math. Like, yeah. One of the websites I looked at just had this little quote where it was like, in a short time, ADHD has gone from being a purely behavioral issue to being recognized as a complex neurodevelopmental condition.
Yes.
So there's 4 types recognized of ADHD, but they fall into like 2 categories. So the first one is inattentive ADHD. It's there's like a whole list of different like symptoms that come with it, but it's you fail to give close attention to details, you have difficulty sustaining attention in tasks, you can't it's hard to follow instructions or complete tasks, you have difficulty with organization, you avoid engaging in tasks that require sustained mental effort, you lose things, you're distracted easily, and you're forgetful in daily activities. And then there's hyperactivity dash impulsivity, which is like fidgeting, squirming. You get up from your seat in situations that require staying seated. Restlessness, a difficulty engaging in leisure activities quietly. That was me.
Well,
I know. I was reading this one. I was like, uh huh. Oh, that's me. Oh, uh huh. Yeah, that's everything I ever got in trouble in school for. Um, Often on the go or driven by a motor. Often talks excessively. What? And then impulsivity is blurting out answers before questions are completed, difficulty waiting for turns, often interrupts, just impulsive behavior.
yes.
And then there's the third and fourth types are a combined presentation where you have symptoms of both those things. And the fourth is unspecified presentation, which is where you have severe symptoms that are present but don't meet official criteria for types, which is actually what I have. Like, I have the unspecified diagnosis just because it is a harder thing to diagnose, especially as a woman, which I will get into. But that was the first time I ever was evaluated for, like, what was it, a psychological assessment. So I just didn't have enough information to, to, to diagnose with a specific type. But I think that I have hyperactivity with a little bit of inattentive, but hyperactivity is what I struggle with most. I don't know. You can probably count how many fucking times I've moved in my seat in the half hour, 45 minutes that we've been recording.
Yeah. I definitely am a mix of both. Like I would say I'm more inattentive than I am hyperactive. Like when you're reading them off though, it was making me laugh a little bit to myself just because my dad has ADHD and I was so blessed to get his genes. And it's honestly not that bad.
They
Like
fit you?
it's one of those things where it's like I've had it forever. It's just who I am. It doesn't I have figured out ways to cope with it and like, whatever. But my dad is inattentive to a T. Like
Mhm.
everything you listed, like we will be going somewhere or like my mom will tell him to do something and he just doesn't do it because he doesn't remember. It's or like he
Yeah.
just completely forgot. And for a long time before my dad got diagnosed, my mom was like, "What the fuck? Like, what is wrong with you?" And then like a few years ago, when I started medication, he like got his diagnosis and it's like the same deal. And also like I've never had a psychological like exam for ADHD. My physician was literally like, "Try Adderall, let me know." And homie, did it work? And I was
Yeah.
like, honestly, it doesn't
How
take a
old were you?
genius to. I was in college.
Okay.
It doesn't take a genius to figure out that I have ADHD. You know what I mean? It doesn't. So like
Spend
it was
five
one of
minutes
those.
with you.
Literally, I was like, well, that's that. So I really don't
Yeah.
know what I am. Like maybe I'm unspecified, but like if I could diagnose myself, I definitely say I would be like the combined thing. Because I'm the same way with my seat. Like I have moved like 40 times.
Yeah.
Like if I'm not like doing something, like I was playing with my scrunchie before, like I feel like I've trained myself to just be still. Like if I have to be still, I can do it. But
Yeah.
like when I was a kid and we'd go to church, my dad
Oh.
and I, our legs would always be bouncing, not because
It
we were
was,
anxious, but we needed to move. Because like we have
yeah,
to
that was the
fucking
worst part of church.
sit and listen to
Yeah.
this goddamn old bandit talk for how long? And my dad just,
Oh, the
I
same
can't fucking
stories
do
we've
this
read a
no more.
million times.
I
I
can't
can't do
fucking
this
do
no
this
more. I can't do this no
anymore.
more. No, literally. I remember like when we get to the sermon part of church, I'm like, all right, we're halfway through. We're halfway
No,
through.
seriously, be like, oh,
And
we're
I
almost done.
liked we have like pamphlets for each service, and like when we have this thing where you can like read along with it, I was like, I'm locked in. I can do that.
Mhm.
But like this one is because we the way ours was always set up was that like they would do a scripture reading and then a song and then a scripture reading and then the sermon and then a song. And so I was like, the sermon and the song I'm with, or the scripture readings and the songs I'm with. But as soon as they start talking, I'm like, all right, I'm checking out. But I think I identify more with the hyperactivity just because that's a lot more prevalent in my life. And I think that like the hyperactivity for me affects the inattentiveness because I'm always like,
Go, 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 go.
I gotta
Yeah.
go somewhere. I
Yeah.
gotta go somewhere. And so like when I'm so focused on like having to go or going to do something, I just forget things and like, but I would say I'm a pretty organized person, but also I'm organized in my own way. Like I know that
Hmm.
there's a hair tie in the corner of my room by my fucking like closet if I ever need it. And she's gonna stay there because that's where I know she is. Like that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Um so yeah, that's like a kind of a basic rundown. I One of the questions I had was like, is it genetic or is it environmental?
Okay.
There's no answer to that.
What?
Cleveland Clinic,
How?
yeah, Cleveland. Well, wait, let me actually. Well, Cleveland Clinic says that it's genetic. Kids with ADHD commonly have biological parents or siblings with the condition, but the Mayo Clinic lists that environment can increase risk as well as problems during development, so like central nervous system stuff.
Yeah. What?
So
Yes. Yes. And I hope that's what came across when I was talking about that last week. Cause like I
yeah,
1000% believe that it's genetic because like my
yeah,
dad has it. My grandpa for sure has something. Like I don't know what it is. It may be
yeah.
tism and or it may be ADHD, but like we
¿Por
definitely
qué no los dos?
neurodivergency definitely runs in the
Yeah,
family, but like I also know the history and I know some context to the family. And
yeah.
also, I don't know if you've ever clocked this, but every time I talk to someone who has any sort of neurodivergency, there is trauma. And like that's just a common pattern that I've seen. And maybe it's because
Yeah.
you would wait.
What
Like
just happened?
I don't know. I'm trying to say the saying like likes to like. What's the saying? I can't fucking say it. Okay, anyway, what I'm trying to say is like you attract what you know and what you feel and like
Oh,
your
okay.
energy. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, gotcha.
Anyway, so I could be just energetically attracted to people who have that type of
Yeah,
history. So like I
that
could be
definitely,
wrong.
yeah.
But like every
I
time I see that, it's like it's there. So,
Yeah. Well, I think on that, it's hard nowadays to find someone that doesn't have some sort of trauma. And I
period.
think having learning disability, behavioral problem like ADHD opens up to more like judgment and like situations to be traumatized from. Like I literally remember being
Period.
in school
Period.
and yeah, like one of my formative elementary memories, I was in school and it was around Christmas time and I was wearing these like jingle bell socks and we were taking a test that day and I was bouncing my legs so much and I didn't even realize that my socks were jingling as I like bounced my leg and someone was like, "Whoever's wearing those socks, can you please stop?" And I was like, "That's me." And it was so like and like people around me knew because I would fucking walk into class being like, "Look at my goddamn socks." And so it was like it was really embarrassing. I still like think about that. And that was like probably second grade. And
Yeah.
so I think that having a disorder or like I don't know, this having ADHD often opens you up to more social situations to have trauma stem from, even just like in the family too.
Especially when you're that young too, you don't
Yeah.
you're learning to mask as you go. So the younger you are, the less you're masking. And
Yeah.
like I remember, so one of my ADHD things for sure is like vocal stimming. Like I'll hear
Yeah.
something and it's there all day. Like it won't go away. And I
Echolalia, baby.
baby, it's
Echolalia.
strong. But so do you
Yeah.
know you you know the song Tequila?
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun,
So
dun.
when when Ab
Tequila.
when Abram and I were kids, we were obsessed with the movie Pee Wee Herman, and there is a scene in that movie where Pee Wee is doing that little dance to Tequila on the bar with these rockin' ass shoes, and that song is playing. And I remember being in fifth grade, 10 years old, and we're like doing a craft, like people are scattered throughout the room, so it's like a group of kids and then my teacher, and I'm going to town on this stim. And it's like, and I'm not, it went on for a while. Like it was, I was just, and it was the same thing over and over and over again. And it's just like the tequila part.
Yeah.
And
Dude.
my teacher, this was the part that was humiliating. And this was like the first time that I became aware that like, oh, people like are aware of me and like what I'm
Mhm.
doing, what I'm saying, and how I'm presenting. And like she she didn't like scream at me in a way that was like, shut the fuck up. It was just like it was like the like I'm annoyed with you, but I'm laughing about
Yeah.
it because of how like ridiculous this is because you keep fucking singing the same tune over and
Yeah.
over again. And I just remember stopping and being like, oh, like people can hear me. And like
Yeah.
this is not normal. Like, you know? So like little stuff like that where I think with trauma and ADHD, you're taught that you can't like authentically show up as yourself
Mhm.
fully because it's annoying.
I say I'm gonna get into that later, talking about the difference between women and men with ADHD and getting diagnosed. Um, so pin that for a second. I
Put
was
a
to
pin in
say
it.
my latest like vocal stim has been singing songs, but like in the B-52 voice, and like shout out to someone on TikTok because they said it and they're like, "This is what I've been doing," and I was like, "No, that's funny." And then I was like in the car, I don't what the fuck was it that I was singing? Oh, I don't remember. But like just like that, like everyone had matching towels. Like I keep singing different songs. I was like,
I love
she got
that.
away. She got away. Like it's
She
been
was
so
as big as
bad.
a whale.
Dude, literally, like it's been bad. I also like I think my family, I know my dad has ADHD. I would go as far to say autism and he wouldn't, but he's not here right now, so he can't defend himself. But like our family, like we would hear something from a commercial or like a movie and like it just sticks. Like
Dude,
the progressive
same,
commercials
same.
with the little pig
Yes.
out the window going wee 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 wee. We say that all the time. Like to this day. And like just stupid shit like that. And so like it's yeah, that's definitely a stem. I wanted to look at stimming specifically. I didn't have time to. Um, but like there's different types of stim and stimming is like getting external stimuli because your brain is understimulated, which I'm going to go into the brain part right now because there are some sort of studies. It's still relatively, it's not a new disease, but it's getting a lot more attention now that everyone has more access to like information about ADHD. And so there's been a lot more research done on it in the last couple of years, but they're still figuring it out. So someone like one of the articles was saying that like there's these differences in like people with ADHD's brains that aren't like neurotypical brains, but it's hard to say definitely what is causing it. I have to burp. Maybe not. It's stuck right here.
Oh, the worst.
It's not coming out. I'm so uncomfortable.
Oh,
Anyways, so in your brain, there are four, I think, different lobes. Could be five, but
I
there's
think
four on. Yeah. So
front
it's the frontal lobe. Do you know them?
I think it's the frontal lobe. It's like the prefrontal cortex. Wait, is that different?
That's different. I don't know what that is
The
exactly.
occipital lobe. That's for
Yep.
sight.
Yep.
Um, can't remember what's in the back.
That's the occipital lobe is in the back.
Yes, frontal lobe, and then the two right here. I can't remember the ones on the side.
I don't know how to pronounce it. Parietal.
Oh, yes.
Parietal. I think I
Yeah.
maybe misspelled that. I don't know. And then your
Oh, the
temporal lobe, which
parietal.
is kind of like,
Temporal.
yeah, parietal. And then the temporal lobe is kind of like the frontal lobe's here, parietal is kind of over the top, and then your temporal lobe is through here,
I
and then
think that's
occipital.
for hearing. Temporal's for your ear holes.
I think it's hearing and balance and motor skills, if I
Yes.
remember correctly.
Yes.
I loved Grey's Anatomy, and so I like knew a lot of random shit about like the body. And I definitely had like one National Geographic magazine that was all about the brain, and I read it so many times. Don't remember a fucking thing now. It's been years, but I do know the lobes. So the frontal lobe is in charge of organizing, planning, paying attention, and making decisions. And in your brain, science lesson. Neurons are nerve cells that transmit signals through the brain through networks. So, like several of those major networks within the frontal lobe work differently with with people with ADHD. Mainly like the networks involved with reward, focus, planning, attention tasks, and movements. And so neurotransmitters are chemicals in the brain that help transmit signals from one nerve cell to the next. And the three ones that are most affected with ADHD are dopamine, which is like pleasure, motivation, focus, norepinephrine. Oh, I almost had it. Norepinephrine, which is a focus, attention, alertness, and then serotonin is like satisfaction, sleep, appetite, mood. I think serotonin's like a homeostasis one, right? Like it balances more like just your like baseline skills, like food stuff, eating like that, sleep, whatever. So when you have imbalances in those three neurotransmitters, um, it is harder for the networks to transmit signals to the frontal lobe, leading to difficulty with its function and leading to ADHD. I don't
Yeah.
know how proven that is. I think it's still in that like there's a correlation. There's the burp. Jesus Christ.
She got
But
there.
she came out. Congrats. Um. Ooh, there was a little bit more too.
Ooh, that was a little
That's
chunky.
scary. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
tastes like the bagel I had earlier.
That's nice. Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome. Just to get a 4D experience with this.
you.
But yeah,
uh,
so that's the brain chemistry part of it. And I don't know, I find it interesting.
it's
Well, I think there's so
crazy.
much crossover too, like with different like, depression, you have lower dopamine and stuff, and different mental disorders
Well,
also
it
have
is.
these like in common.
I don't know what the percentage is, but if you have ADHD, the likeliness that you also have depression or anxiety like skyrockets. Like it's
Well,
and
also it's often misdiagnosed as depression and
yes,
anxiety when it
yes.
is actually ADHD, which is another thing I have on my little thingy.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
I
I think
it's
you go.
Are you gonna let me go? I'm on edge.
Yeah.
Thank you. I thank you. I was gonna say, when I don't take my you little fucker.
I didn't even say anything.
I don't care.
I
I
didn't
don't
do
care.
it.
When I don't take my meds, like I can seriously feel the lack of dopamine in my body. Like
Dude, yeah.
it's I the simplest things. Like if I have so I'm a to-do lister because I like to see what because that's a dopamine release thing where it's like
Yeah.
you see what you've done and what you've got
You can
done and
check them off.
it motivates you to keep going because you keep checking them off. So I love a to-do list. I have a notebook specifically for my tasks that need to be completed. And it's so silly because it's the simple things like doing your laundry, like taking a shower. Not the shower thing, not all the time, but like if I have a lot going on, like I have to list out everything that I need to do. So like yesterday, like I took my meds and I was able to complete that list within an hour. If I hadn't have taken my meds, I bet you that would have taken me 2 to 3 days to complete.
Yeah.
And like, and it's just because it's like so I it feels so painstaking to do something because I don't have it's not the energy. I don't have the mental capacity
Yeah.
to like focus and do it. And it's exhausting
Yeah.
trying to focus when you can't. And that's like half the
Oh
battle.
my
It's like
God.
I am too like low in because like when I don't take my meds too, I feel depressed. And it's because
Yeah.
that lack of dopamine isn't like being secreted. So
Yep.
it's insane, like the difference. When I took Adderall for the first time and I was like, I could hear, I could when people
Dude.
talk. I also have the thing where it's like if I don't take my meds and someone's talking at me, it just it's computing, but like it's not
It's not
processing at
sticking.
all.
Yeah. I get
So
that
like
too.
so I could hear people, I could do a task, and like I could carry on about my day. That
Hmm.
was it. And like it was
Yeah.
so easy. It's so simple, but like it ADHD just makes it way more complicated. Like it really does.
Yeah. I looked up that because I also struggle with that. And I think that like phenomenon can be categorized as executive dysfunction. And executive dysfunction is kind of like a umbrella term ish. It seems as if I Googled it really quickly because I forgot. And then I was like, shit, I have to do that before. I wanted to have that, as some sort of note for that one. But the things you listed are all examples of executive functions, and those are processed in the frontal lobe. And so when you're having a decrease in transmitting that signal that you need to do this thing, it's a lot harder to do it because you're not getting as much like signals to your brain to tell you to do it. It's like I got like an official diagnosis last October for ADHD, and I remember talking to my therapist before I got the results back, and I think I was saying something like um I definitely have a lot of people, almost every single person in my life, it has some sort of neurodivergence, but also everyone kind of has some sort of neurodivergence. Like neurotypical is kind of like just like a norm that is perpetuated by a lot of like Eurocentrist standards and like societal norms that are rooted in white supremacy. Hate to bring it up again. Everything is rooted in white supremacy. It's actually so scary when you like look into it too deep. But everyone has some sort of neurodivergence. And so like I don't know, why did I just bring that up? Oh, I mean everyone has a little bit of trauma, everyone has a little bit of neurodivergence. So everything
Right.
is so connected that way. Um the hell did I was gonna say?
Damn.
I have ADHD, guys. Sorry.
Yeah.
Another part that I wanted to bring up at the last second when I was Googling stuff is rejection sensitivity dysphoria.
Oh my, so bad.
That shit takes
So
me out.
bad.
Oh, executive dysfunction. I was going to say, like, paying attention for a long time. I, like, before I got the ADHD diagnosis, I had been I had been diagnosed with depression, like, multiple times, like, just regular depression, and then also like major depressive disorder. And then like when I got that like assessment, like bipolar tendencies came up. So I thought that I was just like super fucking depressed. But now that I have been on Adderall since roughly October, November, I don't struggle with depression the way I used to. And I truly believe that it is because of getting medicated for ADHD. So I did
Yep.
not realize how much of my mood was stemming from my inability to complete simple tasks. Because I would want to do this thing, but then like executive dysfunction kicks in. I can't do it, and I feel stupid because I can't do something so simple like take care of myself.
It deteriorates your
And it's just
self-esteem.
it's a spiral where it's like, well, this is I can't do this either, and that makes me feel even stupid. And it's like such a like abstract concept, and like that's what would always start for me. And now that it literally gets nipped in the bud at the very top because I mean I still struggle with some sort of I struggle with executive dysfunction still, but the level of it is so much less, and it's not as common anymore
No, and
for me at least.
with feeling stupid, my entire life, I felt so dumb because I couldn't keep up with the other kids in school. Like they just
Mhm.
felt it always felt to me that they had it together so much more than I did, like academically. Like
Yeah.
I never struggled. Well, I did and I didn't, but I got good grades all throughout school. Like I wasn't like A on a roll or anything, but like it was always A's and B's. And like in math, we don't talk about it. I was always horrible in math. It don't fucking count.
Same.
But I was a great student. But when it came to like the amount of work and effort, like the emotional effort that it would put I would have to put in, it was exhausting. And I got to a point in high school where it was like I would do the absolute bare minimum to just get by because trying was so much it made me sad. Honestly,
Yeah.
it really, really made me sad to like have to try that hard to keep up.
Yeah.
Like, and so I didn't. So I'd like the avoidance in me was just like, I'm not gonna do it. Cause like it's weirdly like a self-fulfilling like prophecy where it's like I already believe that like I'm not good and like so I'm just like not gonna try. So
Yeah.
and like that was it's I still struggle with being viewed as stupid even today in some ways because of that. And it's like
Yeah.
it's not because that I'm stupid. I know I'm not stupid. It's your brain just chemically isn't producing what it needs to like the rest of society.
I think it also goes back to like the like standard that like you are very smart, but not in like a typical way. You know what I mean? And I
Yes,
mean like
yes.
you are very smart, book smart too. And I don't want you to think that you're not because you are. But like it's that thing where it's like don't judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree. Like we have different strengths because of ADHD that make us better in different like you know categories than other people.
Well, and we've said
Like
this before too. Like no one is just like you can't define someone solely based off of like the US standard for like
yeah,
academics. Like you can't do like everyone is smart in their own way. Whether you
yeah,
find it relevant or not is like that's you. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
someone could be really into Clash Royale and they got that shit down pat. That is, you know, that is a form of intelligence, but it's not,
It's
you know
also
what
a
I
form of
mean?
autism.
Yes, it
I'm
is.
kidding.
That's right. You hear that, Kyle?
Specifically the ones that play Clash Royale. That was not what I thought you were gonna say at all. It actually took me a second to process that that's what you said.
Yeah. But you know what I
That
mean?
was,
Like everyone
I
has
do, yeah.
everyone
Well,
has their thing.
like even like my so I think that I a part of why I didn't get a diagnosis in my childhood was because my closest cousin in age is a boy with autism, and he had like Asperger's. So he's I hate the low functioning, high functioning thing, but I don't have any other like vocabulary for it. But he was like not super high functioning, but not like super low. He was pretty in the middle. But when he was younger, like my aunt struggled a lot with like his behavior, and like he was just like very run of the mill boy with autism. And so putting the things I was struggling with against his, there was like no comparison. And so it was often overlooked, which is main reason why women are not diagnosed until later in their life because the like I'm just gonna jump to that part of the presentation.
Well, and also with women too, like boys present ADHD different than girls do. And because men are prioritized above women like 100% of the
Yeah.
time, uh women aren't as disruptive. And like with boys,
That's
it's very much so like I yeah, like when there is like an actual behavioral issue going on, especially when they're young. With girls, there's not. You don't see it in the same way. And I couldn't,
yeah.
yeah.
So women and ADHD. First, just to say, the National Center for Health Statistics say that 15.5 million U.S. adults have received an ADHD diagnosis by late 2023. 50% of those diagnoses were made during adulthood, and then 7.1 million children in the US have received an ADHD diagnosis. So that's kind of the demographic and the amount of people that we're working with, which is a lot of people. Like that's a shit ton of people. Um, so with women with ADHD, they're less likely to be diagnosed. It was once thought of as a male disorder, like only male disorder, that women couldn't have that. Um, the symptoms just present differently in boys and girls. And the study that I'm mainly going to talk from or like read from, the title is actually so cunty. It's literally misdiagnosis, MISS, diagnosis. It's just about women.
Oh, I love that.
And it's, yeah, Misdiagnosis, a systemic review of ADHD in adult women by Darby E. Atoe and Emma A. Climie. So without a diagnosis, women with ADHD often report spending their lives feeling different, stupid, or lazy, and blaming themselves for their underachievement. Consequently, receiving a diagnosis for ADHD can be very instrumental to self-esteem and identity.
Well,
They often,
well,
women,
well, well,
I
well,
know,
well.
women often experience or describe the experience of getting a diagnosis as a light bulb moment, giving an external explanation for their struggles and allowing them to accept themselves more fully. And so, because there are so many societal norms that are placed upon women, they're encouraged to display feminine behaviors, such as like empathy and like good relationships with others, organization, and obedience. So when
That
when
is
girls just,
key.
I know. When girls display behaviors consistent with ADHD, they are at a higher risk for social judgment for these violations of feminine norms. To
Oh,
avoid judgment, yeah, to avoid judgment, many girls with ADHD exert considerable effort to mask ADHD symptoms. Which also, I think, also goes into autism. That, like, they mask so much harder because we have to.
oh, okay. Let me just take a fucking minute because my world just flipped.
Yeah,
So, growing up, I was very much a tomboy and I very
same.
much was outspoken and I was very like I was not your typical like little girl. Like I
Mm-hmm.
not at all. And like my whole life like well, to go back to like the hyperactivity, like I showed I was more hyperactive as a little kid. And I feel like when you're a kid too, that just happens. Like you're this
Yeah,
big and you have the energy that's this
a
big,
fucking
you know?
elephant.
So like
Yeah.
but I would sit like a man somewhere, my fucking cooter's hanging out, and I'm just doing my thing and I'm like moving around and my grandma would be like sit like a lady and I was
Yep.
like I don't want to be a lady and she's like well too bad and I like
Too bad.
I just have so many memories linked to like with me just being myself linked to like not being feminine enough or like womanly enough and I kind of had a crisis like the last couple years about like who I am, what I like, who I want to be and how I want to present. And like, I never wanted it to be from a place of like, you have to be feminine, you have to look feminine.
Yeah.
But like, I think that severely stems from that.
Yeah.
You changed my life, like right in this
Thanks.
moment.
You're
Isn't
welcome.
it? That
I
is
had a very
crazy.
similar
That
reaction
is
to it because
crazy.
I was a tomboy, but I also was like a girly girl. Like I loved dresses. I loved playing dress up. I loved my Barbies. I still love Barbies. Like
Love Barbies.
I was love Barbie. Hey Barbie.
Hey,
Hi
Barbie.
Barbie. Hi Barbie. Um
Sublime.
Uppies. Sublime. Yeah. But I was hyperactive. Like I was always moving. I was always getting dirty. I was always doing something. And
Yep.
like
Yep.
luckily, I feel like my family for the time and place that we were raised in was very understanding to that. And I think that's just because my dad really viewed work as like a moral and not a gender role. Granted, like my sisters definitely did more housework, but we also all like were outside working a lot. So I think that had less of an effect on me. But when I got to school, that's where I started being like, oh, I'm supposed to be quiet and sit still, and that's what a girl does. Because, like, my whole life, I've been called a chatty Cathy. Like, I have been, me talking, the amount that I talk now and as a child has always been a very big trait of me. Like, my mom would pick me up from school, and I would just be like, in the back seat, and she'd be like, who put a quarter in you? I'm like, no one. This is just who I am.
No,
And so,
seriously.
and like girls are supposed to be quiet and like seen and not heard, that type of
I
stuff.
I always felt like I was on the outside looking in. Like everyone, I
Yeah.
remember, and this could also be like autism, but I remember being in my first grade class and just like thinking to myself, like, I think everyone here has telepathy and they all can talk to each other, and
Dude.
I'm the only one that doesn't understand. I remember
Like
that
I
I
missed
was
the
six,
memo.
I was 6 years old and I was thinking that shit. Like,
Yeah.
and I like, don't get me wrong, like I feel like I was a good balance of like feminine and masculine growing up, but like I definitely like I enjoyed like doing activities like with my grandparents, like my grandpas. Like I would like there's a picture of me. This is so iconic. Oh my God, I'm gonna frame this someday. I have so I have a drama queen shirt on, and it's like for like the Dairy Queen logo, and it just says drama queen or something,
Cute.
or something like that. Yeah. And I have
Yeah.
like this massive saw up north, and I'm like fucking going to town on this branch. I'm like 3, and like I don't know, like it's just it's crazy that like and this could go in like more into like gender stuff too, but like
Yeah.
you just learn so quickly that like especially when you're young that like you need to do what you can so you don't get left out, or like it's
Hmm.
literally like evolutionary, like
Yeah.
you do what you can to survive to be in that community. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I think even like for me, well, I have two other sisters and they're like 8 years plus older than me. And so like I remember growing up and just being like a mess. Like my room was always messy. I could never find anything. I always forgot shit. Like I had bad handwriting. My desk at school was always like messy. My locker was
Yep.
always messy.
Yep.
And like my mom was like, I don't understand how this happens. Like, and she would threaten. She's like, if you don't clean your room, I'm coming in there with the garbage bag and everything that's on the floor is getting thrown away. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, and my sister's, I think my second oldest sister, we've talked about it now. She's definitely more on the like autism side of it, but we shared a lot of like, which we didn't realize growing up because we were 8 years apart, and that's like the like golden witching hour for just like hating each other. And like we were going through very pivotal times in our like adolescence at like different pivotal times at the same time, so we just like hated each other for so long. But like in adulthood we would talk about things that we both did and like experienced, and it's so similar. But like my brother's like older than me, and so I was often just compared to him because he was a messy boy, and you don't want to be a messy boy, you got to be a nice little girl.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
that's what stems a lot for me. And also girls are more often diagnosed with inattentive ADHD and boys with hyperactive ADHD. And hyperactivity symptoms are more disruptive in classroom settings, leading to higher referrals for assessments in
Yes.
boys than girls.
Yes.
I didn't that like when I read that I was like, "Oh my god, that makes absolute sense."
Yeah.
Um One of the quotes like in that from the article is externalizing behaviors are a stronger predictor of diagnoses in girls than boys. Girls who display significant externalizing behaviors are more likely to receive a diagnosis than those who are displaying internalizing symptoms, suggesting that girls may be more likely to be missed in the diagnostic process unless they have significant externalizing behaviors. So
And
even if you do have hyperactivity, it has to be so much to even like the fidget toy in my hand. Like it has to be so much more extreme to get that diagnosis,
and I
which
do
just
think
leads to more shit. Like,
I think like because societally girls are taught to be quiet and to sit down and shut up, we learn faster to adapt
Yeah.
because we have to, you know? And so and boys don't get that. It's like boys are being boys, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I also think that's a factor in it as well. Like, because
Yeah.
I definitely like this is oh my God, it's so embarrassing. Like I get like war flashbacks like from school sometimes because of what the shit I was doing. Like I was a hair
Yeah.
chewer. I was a hair chewer because needed to fidget with something
Yep.
and like that was like my only thing and my
I'm
mom
a
would be like,
twirler.
"Yep." And like I would
This bad
what
boy. Well, I'm gonna tangle my hair on accident, but
triangle.
like I now it's
Yep.
fucking my hands are sweaty. But like I could do like I still when I'm like thinking it's like it's just it's so fast. I've
Yep.
tangled. I've given myself knots in my hair from doing this.
Yep. When I got my ears pierced when I was 6, like I would
Oh
play
my god,
with my earrings
my
like
septum.
all day. Yep. And like so you we find different ways to fidget that's not disruptive and won't call
Yeah.
attention to us because it's been taught that girls don't call attention to yourself.
Yep.
Don't be an attention whore. Don't
Yep.
do this, don't do that. There are so many like do not rules for women compared to men, and I think that's like a big factor in this as well. Like aside
Oh
from
yeah.
like just the inattentive, we are more naturally going to be internalizers than externalizers. So
Well, it even like makes me think of just like mental health in general and how that like there's that statistic where like women attempt suicide more often, but then men actually follow through with it more often. I think that's it. And so I feel like that is just like you have to be so extreme in your like symptoms and even just to be taken seriously. Like so much of like mental health history with women were literally just blamed on hysteria. And like I just read this. I don't know why I was looking this up, but it hysteria is like kind of an old like an it's an old thing. It's like kind of when women would get like diagnosed to go sit by the seaside. But
yes,
it
yes.
comes because I think in like ancient Greece, the there were like people thought that the uterus was just floating around our bodies and it was affecting different parts of our bodies because it was just like boom, 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 boom inside you. Like that's insane. Like that's the basis for so much like like female mental like research. It like blows my mind, and like there's so many things that goes into that because even like we're white women, we actually taken somewhat seriously. Like black women have the highest morbidity rate with hospitals and medical conditions because they're literally not taken seriously. And a big part of it is because people used to think that black people didn't feel pain. Like there is like was read like research studies saying that black people have different sensitivities and different thresholds for pain. So like they were never taken seriously, which is
And
just
also
that just
with black women too, there's that trope, that character archetype where it's like, I
oh
can't
the mad
remember what
angry
it.
black woman.
Yes, yes. And
Yeah,
so like you don't people just naturally are because there's that trope,
think you're
they're not taking
hysterical.
they're not going to take you seriously. And
Yeah,
it's like and those biases exist in like in
everywhere.
everybody, but like if you have healthcare professionals that like it could literally ruin somebody's life.
Yeah.
Like
It's just like that's it's when people talk about how we don't need feminism or men are like, you have it so good, you can vote and own property. What more could you fucking want?
since
There's so
1970,
I know.
bitch, what are you
Like
talking about?
there's so much history and like research that is decades behind because people just did not give a fuck about women. Like, I don't know why it sticks out to me so much. I think about it, but I was reading Gathering Moss by Robin Wall Kimmerer, and she was talking about how there was like this specific type of moss that she couldn't figure out why it grew in this specific spot or like what it was used for because everything that grows in nature is there for a reason, and like she had to do so much research, and then she finally came across this study done by some like I don't know anthropologists in like the early 1800s or some shit on an indigenous tribe, and it was like a footnote that was like there was a specific type of moss found outside the women's only tent, and then it turns out that the moss that she was trying to figure out what the purpose was for was used in this tribe mainly as like menstrual products for when they were bleeding because it absorbs so much. They would use it in like the baby packs at the bottom in case the diaper leaked and it would absorb it. So like this huge chunk of like their own like history and teachings was like literally lost because they just didn't ask a woman, "Hey, what do you use this for?" Like, it's
And
just like so much that happens everywhere.
well, in Audrey Gordon's book, What We Don't Talk About When We Talk About Fat, like there's a whole section about how,
I'm reading it.
yeah, it's
I'm
there's
like a
I don't
good
know if
chunk into
I
it.
don't you maybe you even got to this point, but I think it's pretty early in the book when they talk about it, but the BMI like
Oh,
measure,
I
like
just read that part.
it's all based off of a white man's body, and it that
Yeah,
and first of all, like every it just one, women aren't even considered in it, but like they aren't even taking in account
yeah,
of like Asian men, Native men, Black men,
yep,
like, and and so like that, but that is used. BMI is still used today
yeah,
in like what your body should be, and like I think the biggest point that it nailed was like Black women typically have more like meat, like,
hmm,
and like they're being told that they're obese, but they're not, and like it's such a flawed way of measuring like health. And
yeah,
but that just goes back to like how women get screwed and like again deteriorates your self-esteem when there's actually like nothing wrong with you. So
yeah. I was trying to see if I could find like the part that was saying like the like a quick thingy, but um because Quetelet's I think is the researcher's name that invented or just invented the BMI. Large the research largely took place in Western Europe. The index is focused on predominantly white bodies and has repeatedly been shown to be less applicable or not applicable at all to people of color. Um, the detail of the ways in which people of a healthy BMI are assumed not to be at risk for cardiovascular and pancreatic issues, leaving people of Asian descent at a disproportional risk of undiagnosed heart disease, diabetes, and other illnesses. Like, yeah, we could literally do a whole episode
I
on that,
agree
and I would
totally.
love to
When
once I
you
finish
finish
that
that
book.
book, yeah, when you finish that book, I've been meaning
Yeah,
to crack open that book again because when I read stuff like that, like there's so much information. Because honestly, like not growing up plus size, like it literally changed my perspective on everything. And it's
yeah,
one of those things where it's like when I want to go back at some point and like look at all of my notes, what I highlighted, and then like annotate them or like deeply,
yeah,
just because it's we're getting really off topic, but we'll rein it back in a second. But we have so much farther to go in terms of how we view bodies. Like
yeah,
even I mean on YouTube even there are ads like for injections to like
yep,
lose weight, and it's like
yep,
it doesn't end. And it's really disheartening because it's what it's teaching young girls and boys, that you're never ever enough,
yeah,
like in just your form, which is like no duh, but like it's just
yeah,
it's always like subconsciously there, and like these are the
yeah.
messages that are being sent out, and it's all thanks capitalism. Thanks for making a
Thanks.
good buck. I hate myself.
Literally. I mean, I grew up fat. I still identify as fat. People would identify me as fat. And, like, it is something that I am just beginning to start unpacking. And mind you, I've been in therapy for most of my life, and I have somehow managed to avoid this topic. And, like, I feel like I am in a good place in my body right now that I can, like, start to unpack the impact that growing up fat has on me. And like it's so deeply embedded into myself, and it is like kind of really scary because I never wanted that to be everything. Like I was always like I'm more than just my body. Like that was like a very big thing for me, but also like my body has impacted the way that I like move in the world because I'm literally just physically taking up more space. And like there's so much like trauma around that I have like genuinely repressed because it is so embarrassing and it was so shameful that like I can't even remember half the things that happened to me. I have like blips and stuff where I'm like, I don't know why I was thinking that. Like I remember being in a locker room and I something must have happened that I was like somehow like failed like a gym test or something. But I remember like sitting in the bathroom in a stall and being like, I can't live like this any longer. I have to change. Like I have to change. And I was in middle school. And I remember just feeling so shameful that like I was the reason that whatever happened happened. And I can picture it so clearly in my head. I was sitting and staring at the floor and I was like, you can't live like this. You need to change. Like this is wrong. And like there's so many instances like that. And so like I read Hunger by Roxane Gay and that was really good. That one's more like it was heavy. Like it was very heavy. And it's like there's a lot that I really resonated with and like we have different experiences. And so there were some parts that I couldn't, but like I blew through it in like one day because I was like, I'm just gonna knock this out and just, you know, but that one was more emotional. I think with like what we don't talk about when we talk about fat, it's more scientific that there's times where she'll
Definitely.
talk about like her own experiences and I'm like, oh God, I literally had the same fucking thing happen to me. And but it's more yeah, there's more facts and stuff, so it's not as emotional. At least not yet
Yeah.
for me. But yeah, she was talking about Weight Watchers, and my mom has been a part of Weight Watchers my whole life. I would go to meetings with her. Like,
Yep. My
yeah,
parents
we'll
were
have to do like a
definitely,
whole
yeah, yeah. I
because I
won't
have a
even,
lot to say. Yeah, we'll put a pin on this one.
yeah.
Um,
Boop.
back to ADHD. Um, women are often misdiagnosed or often diagnosed with mood disorders that are actually unrecognized ADHD. Males are often more referred to behavioral issues, while we females are often more referred due to emotional issues, which is something we already kind of touched on. Um, this is also a quote. Found this study found that girls had more visits to a psychiatric care facility prior to an ADHD diagnosis, and they were prescribed non-ADHD medications like antidepressants before and after diagnosis at a higher rate, and were older than boys at the time of the referral and age of diagnosis. They suggest that this difference may be due to higher burden of emotional problems required for girls to be referred for treatment. So like that shame that we were talking about is never it's just like taken at face value and not investigated why we're feeling all of these like emotional
Yes,
problems, which is
yes.
like literally what has happened in my mental health journey.
And I feel like with big pharma too, it's like it's never about, okay, why are we feeling this way? Like let's investigate and like get to the bottom of this because like half
Yeah.
the time when there are like emotional struggles and even like with just like getting out of the bed, like why can't you get out of like
Yeah.
what shame are you holding on to where you physically cannot show your face
Yeah.
right now? Like it's
Even
never it
like
doesn't it's not ask it doesn't it just here take these pills,
yeah.
take these pills, give me your money, and then like call it good. There's like, and like it helps a little bit. It helps you regulate. I am not like
Yeah.
anti like medication because personally I'm on sertraline and it's like a form of Zoloft and it helps me with OCD where it's like it I can have thoughts come in and I can recognize that like, oh, that's a thought. But if I'm not on sertraline, it's over. I like
Yeah.
believe what's happening, you know? And like so like it's supposed to help you. It's not everything. I feel like medication
Yeah.
is like the first step to like
Yeah.
healing. Like it
Yeah.
helps you get to a point where you can heal. Like
That's yeah, I was struggling a lot with mood swings and I was like 21, 22-ish. Probably honestly from like 19 to 22, 23 years old. I was struggling with pretty severe mood swings, I would say. And I finally got on a anti well I don't think it's an antidepressant. I think it's a mood stabilizer. I'm on nortriptyline. Went on it for like 4 years, maybe. It's been a hot second, and like it was just enough of a cushion that when I did have a mood swing, it wasn't like I fucking crashed and burned. It was like I go down, but there's a pillow, and it just kind of like
yeah.
I just bounced a little bit, like, and then same with going up. Like when I would go like swing back up, it would always be like I feel like God, and no one can touch me. And like that, it was like a little bit of a cushion at the top there. So like it wouldn't be so like detrimental. It also
Intense.
helped my
Yes.
sleep a lot because I've had insomnia since I was a kid. And since being on nortriptyline, it has helped my sleep significantly. Like I can tell if I don't take it late, like I will lay in bed and be like, why the fuck am I so awake right now? It's like, oops, I forgot to take my meds today. And so like I'm very grateful that I have the combo of like the nortriptyline and Adderall now because it is like
It
one to wake
levels
me
it
up,
out.
one to
Yep.
put me
No,
down. Yeah.
seriously. Seriously, I
Dude,
have
there's
like, I don't know what it's called. It starts with an H, but it's for panic attacks, but I use it for sleep because with
yeah.
Adderall, like I can do without it, but like also with anxiety, like it just shh, 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 shh. We don't need to think about that. Just shh, 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 shh,
Shut the fuck up.
shh, shh. Go to bed.
You're
Go to,
okay.
your
You're
body is safe.
okay.
Your
Close
body
your
is safe.
eyes.
Oh my God.
Dreamland. Go to bed. Yeah.
La 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 la. Cue what is that? That's from fucking Hercules or something.
Oh yeah, that's actually exact. That wasn't what I was thinking, but that's exactly what Pegasus sounds like.
Girl, I got you. I
That shit's
got you.
indebted in my brain. Or I don't know, but yeah. I was gonna say something, but I don't remember. I have ADHD. The next point I have: females are often referred for and diagnosed as ADHD exhibited symptoms that were significant deviations from their typical behaviors, suggesting that females may have a slightly higher threshold for symptom severity for referral and diagnosis, which I think goes into masking and being, forced to uphold feminine roles and traits. Because I know that, like, when I'm, like, well, even just in this last year, I've really made an effort to not mask around people I'm comfortable. And, like, I feel like I'm a different person when I'm not.
That
Like,
builds your confidence too. Like it's
yeah,
shown like one, you're around people that like are gonna love you no matter what. And not that like what you're displaying is wrong at all, but like when you're taught to shut that down, like it
yeah,
feels like innately like there's something wrong with you, you know? So
yeah,
like I think it really but once you get that like cycle of like I'm gonna keep being myself like that how does that not build your self-esteem over
yeah.
time? Like
It feels like what I was talking about, where it's like that fragile, like center self that's like your
yes.
core. That was a huge thing for me because like I think I knew that I had ADHD for a very long time, but it wasn't until like my early 20s, like this last 2 years, that like I actually sought treatment for it and was like, I think I have this. I'm almost like positive I had it, but I didn't know for most of my life, and so it was just like these behaviors that were ingrained to like be shut down and covered up, and like it just takes so much. It takes so much effort that at some point it just becomes your reality, and you don't even realize how much effort you're putting into this, and like it really became super clear for me in college because I would be like, I remember this one class, pretty sure it was my last semester of college, and it was so fucking boring. The teacher sucked, and I just hated it. And I remember being in physical pain from sitting and paying attention. My body would ache. I would like be so tense from trying to control myself and like not jumping up and down that like I would be exhausted after class. I would literally get out of class and put on my Oons Oons playlist and just have like just fast paced music, some sort of stimulation, because that would like regulate it down. And like it took so much of that type of experience where I'm like just completely exhausted and like not okay in order to be like, hey, I actually think something's wrong. Is anyone else feeling pain from sitting in the same spot for 45 minutes? No? Oh. Oh.
Just me.
Just me? Oh, all right. I'm gonna call a doctor. Like, and even just getting a diagnosis took fucking like 3 years. Like,
It
it took
takes
so long.
so long.
It it
Part of
was
and
so
that's part of the reason
frustrating.
why I don't want to go in and like
Yeah.
actually get diagnosed because I know I have it. Like it's no
Yeah.
like it. But
Honestly, you have the medication already, so it's not like you
yeah, so
need
who
a
gives a fuck?
diagnosis for, like, I would not put yourself through it.
It
That's why I put myself through it, because I wouldn't be able to get an Adderall prescription without a diagnosis.
it would be nice to know specifically what I have, but it's
Yeah.
fine that I don't because
Yeah.
I feel like I've got it under control to a certain degree.
Yeah. Um, Gender bias in research informing criteria. Out of 243 studies done between the publication of the DSM-3 and the DSM-4, 70 of those studies were concerned with ADHD, and in those studies, 81% of participants were male and 13 or 19 were female. So, like, literally the foundational research for the criteria is like heavily skewed, and like all the reasons we
Surprise,
said before.
surprise.
Surprise, surprise. Um, Women are a higher risk of engaging in risky sexual behavior, unplanned pregnancies, and more likely to be coerced into having sex than women without ADHD.
I
Low
feel
self
like
esteem is very common.
I feel like being I'll do, and I don't know if this is just my personality, but I'm gonna believe you. Like if I'm being manipulated, but I like trust you, I'm gonna get manipulated. Like it's just so like I
Whoops, my problem.
real nice, real smooth, Cliff. But like I can totally see that, like truly.
Yeah,
So I don't know. I feel like there's like this is gonna sound so whatever, but I feel like there's a whimsicalness to neurodivergency, especially in women. And I think there is like a childlike naivety sometimes because
hmm.
of it. And I think that might be what that is.
Well, I feel like it's because once you kind of realize slash accept that like this is not your fault, it's easier to embrace it.
Yes.
Especially if you start to like deconstruct the societal like norms that are making you feel like it is your fault. Like, I love being neurodivergent. I'm very like, I felt like when I got my ADHD diagnosis, it was a puzzle piece clicking in for me. Like, it was like, oh my god, I'm not a horrible person. Like, that's crazy. And like,
Uh,
I wasn't just lazy or unmotivated. Like, this wasn't, it's not your fault.
you
And
know,
like,
I wish I had that experience, but I feel like when I really found out and started to dive into like my neurodivergency with like both ADHD and a little bit of autism, my world crumbled because I had such low self-worth that like, okay, yeah, let's just put that on top of it.
yeah,
Let's just also make it like this. But you know, like as time goes on, obviously like I think with people with ADHD, like there's just a little spice in your life.
yeah.
And it's just because like you really never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to come out of their mouth. And like it genuinely like it is fun. It's not fun
Yeah.
all the time, but it is fun.
Yeah. I do think like it feels, and this is cheesy, but it feels like a superpower sometimes. Like, yeah, I can do six things at once.
There
I'm
are
a
things,
fantastic server because I have ADHD, and I don't
dude.
doubt it for a second.
There are things that like I can remember and things that I can do that no one like people are like, how the fuck do you do that? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just
ADHD.
fucking cool, dude. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I won't say that. I just say
Yeah.
I'm fucking amazing. All right. I'm just that
Lots
fucking
of Renee
cool.
Rapp clip. She's on like in some interview, and he's like, "Your brain works in such a weird way," and she's like, "ADHD, ADHD." I think that a lot. But yeah, like there's things that I am like able to do that I feel like are not common. And I think that's also why a lot of artists and creatives are ADHD, like,
Yes.
or neurodiversion of
Yes.
some sort, because it is a different connection to the world. There's actually a really good book called something. Fuck. I think it's The Art of Paying Attention.
Oh,
I
I think that's on my list.
I think I recommended it to you because I read it
Yeah.
when I first was starting to like investigate that. My therapist recommended it to me. And like the way she describes the way her brain makes connections is so beautiful. And like I feel that very heavily. Like I remember things weirdly, and like I can spout facts off like insanely. I think also like the fact that I do like improv and I like kind of perform, I think I'm good at improv because of ADHD. My brain is always 5 steps ahead, and like in a good way. I know sometimes that can be kind of bad with like improv, but like I am always like I'm locked the fuck in because it is high stakes and I have to pay attention. And like it's just enough stimuli where it's like crazy where I'm like, yes, I don't know what's gonna happen, and we're gonna figure it out. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think I would be me without ADHD, and I think that
Yeah.
they're enmeshed. I am ADHD. ADHD is me,
And that's on period.
and that's period. The only other really points I had were that many women begin the process of getting diagnosed after their child gets diagnosed. So that was cool that your dad kind of had that same thing. He's not a woman though, so
It's a little different there.
a little different there. And then like I just did a little bit of treatment. Like stimulants are a very common treatment. Non-stimulants and antidepressants can help, as well as therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, and mindfulness-based therapy being the most common. But
Yep.
it's not curable, so unfortunately we are stuck this way. So oopsies. But with the correct treatment and management, people with ADHD can live a full and happy life.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's not the end of the world. It's actually a superpower. And
We're a lot of fun. I'll tell you
yeah,
that much. We're a lot of fucking fun.
I'll tell you that. Who else can yap like this? Nobody. We got special powers.
Fair. All right. What are you grateful for?
Why do I have to go first?
Okay, fine. I'll go first. I am grateful for so every year we have a hydrangea bush in front of our house and it's massive and I look forward to the hydrangeas blooming every like July and August and they're in bloom and every morning when I wake up I can just see them like peeking out on the side of the window and it just makes me so happy. And when it gets later in the season, towards the end of August and like early September, they turn pink. So like it's I know,
I
yeah.
love hydrangeas.
Me too. That's my favorite flower for sure. And I think it's just because those have always been there. So yeah, I'm grateful for that. And I'm also grateful for I'm finishing up my journal right now. I just ordered a new one and I did mention earlier in the episode that I spent $30 on stickers. I'm going to be decorating my journal. So I'm very grateful and I'm very excited. So
I love that. I've not been journaling a lot lately. I really haven't been writing that
oh
much
honey,
either.
that
I
thing
think
has
I'm
been
just busy.
that's been strapped to my hip. I've been
Yeah,
using that shit lately.
I
Yes,
love
ma'am.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I feel like I'm grateful for new connections. I'm having a really great time. I have a crush on someone and it's tearing my fucking brain apart. But I haven't had a crush on someone in a long time, and so it's been very fun to hang out with her and really remember that I actually am very anxiously attached and I'm crazy sometimes. Like
Girl, I mean, babe, I
it's
it's bad. I
it's
get
so
you.
fun,
I get
but
you.
also like it is. I literally feel like I'm like going a little crazy, but
To look on the bright side a little bit, if you're triggered right now, it opens the door for you to look deeper.
sure,
And so, I mean, personally, I'm also in a little bit of a thing right now, and it also is very triggering in a lot of different ways for
yeah,
anxiety. But it's not about them. It's about
yeah,
it's about you. So like
yeah.
let's figure out like why we feel like we need to cling or like why you know what I mean? So like it's just
I
you got to
think
figure your shit out. You got it.
not to like get too much into the tea because like we literally been on 3 dates, so I need to cool it. But like I just haven't felt like feelings this like not, I don't say intense either, but like I'm like I very much like her and I've never been like this that fast, and so it kind of scares the shit out of me, and I'm like trying to be cool as fuck, but like I don't know how well it's working. And so like it is just like it's insane, but I'm very grateful because it is very fun to have a crush. I like being delusional and I like to have attention and I like to give attention. I
Yep.
love to open the door. I love to
Yep.
open the door for the I love women and I'm having a great time.
Oh,
So I'm grateful for new connections and all that fun stuff. But
that's cool. Well,
thank y'all for
we got a
listening.
dip.
We gotta go. This has been Off Topic with Sophia and Carl. Follow our Instagram, email us. Everything is in the description. All the sources that I listed will be in the description as well. So we'll catch you next week.
We'll
Shout
catch
out
you
to
on the
Hannah
flippity
again.
flip.
We'll flip you on the flippity flip. We'll flip you on the flippity flip.
Flippity
But yeah,
flop.
we love you. Thank you for
Mwah.
listening. We'll catch you in the next one.
All right, see you
Bye.
later. Bye.